I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact focused on personal growth, my Knowledge Workbook series and Creative Healing course can help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking to you about predicting the chances that an ex will come back.
You got to get out your scientific calculator for this one.
You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and one of the things that I've seen over the years is that, first of all, many people will come back if you go into no reach out, as we teach it, no contact as we teach it, leaving them alone and allowing them to come back when they are ready. It happens a lot, okay? We don't have any percentages. People that give you percentages, unless it's by, actual professionals that are doing research studies, there's a lot of BS out there, okay? Their guide is not making it a 90% chance of them coming back. There's so much stuff that makes me so angry. Yeah. But exes do come back all of the time when you leave them alone. When you put pressure on them, you try to manipulate, handwritten letters, clean slate messages, good reminder texts, it pushes them away further and it makes them less likely to come back. But when you leave them alone, they are a lot more likely to come back.
Yeah, and we understand why many of you can be so obsessive about your chances or likelihood to get an ex back. You want to be reconnected. You want to feel close with them again. And a lot of times our need to know is driven by our anxiety. We want to know exactly when they'll come back and how likely it is and what we can do to manipulate the chances. And sometimes we get so neurotic that we get down to percentages. Yeah. I know I was joking earlier about the scientific calculator, but I remember working with Margaret. We've had clients that would ask, okay, is it like 36.5% likely? And if I wear my favorite green shirt, then will it make it 37% more likely? So I know sometimes our brains will like to nitpick and get into the nitty gritty, and humans are far too complex for something like that. But there are certain things that we can look at that we can say, okay, the situation just from the factors and the traits and qualities that we see would indicate a more likely scenario for repair than another one. That
being said, there are always outliers. There were times where I thought this is unlikely to turn around, and it does. And then there are times where it looks really good and it doesn't.
Yeah.
And so these things can be very confusing, but we do see a lot of tendencies. But when you make personal growth your priority and no contact, you're going to be far more likely to turn it around when they do reach out. That is a certainty. You may have uncertainty about if they come back, but I can tell you that if you really do make personal growth your priority, you're going to be far more likely to turn it around.
The way I look at it is if you think back to maybe right after the breakup, a week or two after the breakup, you can look back and say, okay, my ex wouldn't reconsider that person. Yeah. But your choices, how things change and develop, your self-reflection, your personal growth during this time can make a difference. You can say, they might have not reconsidered me then, but I'm growing in my confidence to where anybody would reconsider me, right?
Absolutely.
I'm becoming a better partner for whoever it might be. Whether it is my ex, whether it is somebody new, I'm becoming a better option out there to treat others, to treat my potential significant other, loved one much better.
Keep in mind, we tell you to be on probation for 9 months when your ex comes back because you're going to be a lot more likely to stick to those changes. Many of you don't do that and you wind up losing your ex again. And I hate that. And you guys hate it even more because you're like, I didn't listen. Got a guy right now that's going through that, right? That we've been doing a bunch of calls. And he's beating himself up terribly because he didn't stick to making those changes. So please, guys, listen to what we're telling you to do. As far as the factors, what are some of the factors we see?
Definitely the length and quality of the relationship. Those things matter just in terms of attachment. right? So the longer a relationship is, sometimes there's relationships that are longer than 7 years, 10 years, marriages, ones with a lot of entanglements, commitments, ties together. So that's going to be something in favor of somebody reconsidering that relationship. It could also be aligned values and goals if the two of you were heading in the same direction, had a lot of the same values, had similar goals just in terms of the future, what you wanted to do, plans together, and also if kids are involved. So, of course, the more ties there are, the more likely somebody is going to reconsider.
That is true. That is absolutely true. It doesn't mean those are all the factors.
Right.
There are a lot of different factors. The connection you have with somebody, the thought of them living their life without you, and that connection could be enough. There are a lot of different reasons, but these are some of the ones we just see the most.
Right. And there will also be signs that you can look for, right? So we as human beings have evolved to look at patterns and to predict, right? To say, okay, well, what's going to happen next and how can I prepare for that? So while we don't know the exact percentage of the likelihood, right, there can be things that we see even throughout the breakup. You know, are they reaching out to us with indirect directs? Are they, constantly watching our social media?
Blocking and unblocking.
Right.
That's a big one.
Asking family and friends about us. So we have other videos talking more about those signs, but there are things that we can observe and say, okay, I'm seeing some interest here on their end. Could this mean that things might be more likely? They could be reconsidering. They could be more ambivalent than we had originally thought. And of course, there's always going to be that level of unpredictability that we talk about.
Yeah.
Time is really going to be the only thing that with certainty will show you. There's no coach on the internet that can tell you for sure what your chances are, because human beings are complex, because life is complex, and because so much can change between now and even a week from now, even a month from now, even 5 months, so on and so forth.
I can tell you this. If you follow the strategies that we give on our channel, you're going to be far more likely to turn it around than the ideas that you come up with or the manipulative things that you see that other people tell you to do. If those things worked, handwritten letters, clean slate messages, good reminder texts, grand gestures, if those things worked, we would tell you to do them. But the reason we tell you all the time not to do those things is because they don't tend to work, and more often they make the situation worse.
And I'll say, even if they did work, how does that leave you 5 months later? How does that leave you a year later? If what we're really looking for is that longevity, if we're really looking for our relationships to really stand the test of time, we're going to have to work on those deeper issues, or else we'll keep repeating them over and over and over again. So I think for many of you, you so hyper-focus on, am I going to hear a reach out, that sometimes we neglect the things that actually keep the relationship going. And that's what we want you to see.
And obsessing about that and focusing on, are they going to come back? What are my chances? It's keeping you from the personal growth. It's keeping you from healing those attachment issues. It's keeping you stuck in the anxiety of, what is my ex doing? Are they going to come back? Which doesn't prepare you for when they do come back. Because all you've ever thought about is if they're coming back. Okay, they come back, now what? You're going to get into the same patterns that you were at before.
Yep. So think about it and think about the long term with this. We know that there can be that sense of security, hope. Maybe you feel like there's something a little bit more absolute and concrete if you have a number or a percentage, or if somebody else on the internet or in person or your grandma can tell you, what the future will hold, or somebody holding a crystal ball. We don't know. What we know is what we can control is your choices, what you do. Many things can change. Your social circle can change. Your work life can change. You will change. Your ex will change. The situation will change. So we have to be, ready and willing to adapt. And the one thing that's going to be constant really is going to be yourself. So building that confidence is what we talk about.
Absolutely. We know it's not easy to not have the answers. Focus on what you can control, and the breakup will feel much better for you, especially in time. After you've been doing personal growth for a while and you make that your priority or part of your routine, it's going to be far more about you and a lot less about them and what they're doing. And so that puts you in a position to control your life and where it goes. Hopefully this one has been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.